All right. Well, hey, welcome to the On the Hunt podcast. My name is Elijah Winfrey. Joining me tonight is Mr. Bobby Bless. We got 2 out of 4 for you today, but we are going to give you 100% effort. Okay, 100% effort tonight. Nate and Reggie are not with us tonight, but we're hoping they'll be with us on our next episode. So that's the situation there. But me and Bobby are going to keep you company tonight, and just give us a second here while we go to share this link here, as there's no real easy way to do that. So bear with us. But while I'm sharing this link, Bobby, how are you doing tonight, my friend?
Man, I'm tired but humble. I always say a little prayer before I go to work, and I just thankful, man. Could be in a lot of people ain't out here working, so even though I had a somewhat tough day at work, I'm just thankful that I'm able to have a tough day at work. If you get my drift, but other than that, man, I'm off tomorrow, so I'm always geeked up for that one big dog. How about you, man?
Hey, I am doing very well, my friend. I'm ecstatic at everything that happened with the Lions draft, and I'm looking forward to talking about that here in about 5 seconds, as I'm just sharing these links everywhere. It'd be awesome if there was like a one button thing where it's shared to every single page. There probably is, but I haven't seen that button yet. So anyway,
I bet it's a group of guys with suits and ties. This is the reason why that button is not made. I bet.
Yeah.
No, we don't want one button.
So the first thing that we wanted to do tonight was actually let you know what jersey numbers our new draft picks are going to be wearing. This information came out earlier today, but maybe there's the possibility that you did not see that information. So let's go over some of these numbers here, and I'll read them out. And Bobby, if you have any commentary on numbers, feel free to toss in your 2 cents. Okay.
I'm gonna look. If I don't like it, I'll just say what the hell. No.
So first one is Hendon Hooker, quarterback out of Tennessee. He is going to be wearing the number 12 for the Detroit Lions. And that to me was so odd because I'm so used to seeing him wear number 5. Obviously, number 5 is not an option because David Montgomery is going to wear number 5 for us. But for me, number 12, I thought was a little odd, but hey, I'll learn to love it. What do you think, Bobby?
A 12, if I'm not mistaken, this might be before your time. I hate going there with you. Eric Kramer was number 12. And believe it or not, he was the last Detroit Lions quarterback to win a playoff game. So that's kind of interesting. It's some depth in that detail. So, hopefully, if he do half as good as Kramer, he was worth the pick.
I hadn't really thought about that, but that is a very good point. I'm glad that we're doing this. By the way, folks, we are going YouTube Live, so make sure you leave your comments for us, and we'll try to answer your questions if you have any about the Lions draft, because we want to get your opinion on what they did as well tonight. But let's keep it going with the numbers here. So Jahmyr Gibbs, this one was interesting to me because at Georgia Tech, Jahmyr Gibbs wore 2 different numbers. He wore number 21, which Calvin Johnson also wore at Georgia Tech, so that was kind of special. And then he wore the number 1, and then he goes to Alabama and he wears number 1. So I was wondering what was going to happen here as he goes to Detroit. Well, he's going to wear number 26. That is going to be the number for Jahmyr Gibbs. And for some reason, that reminds me of Chris Johnson from the Tennessee Titans. And I can't remember if Chris Johnson wore 24 or 26. I can't remember.
I think it was 26. Let me look it up.
Yeah, I'm gonna look that up real quick because that's kind of interesting.
Oh, you go ahead, look it up, man. Because I want to say it was 26, but I don't remember. Oh, yeah, and I want to say it was 26.
Let's see. So it was actually number 28, I believe. So I was wrong on that, but yeah, 28, 21, and 23 was what was Chris Johnson's numbers. But the reason why I brought up Chris Johnson at all was because I did see somebody post, they were saying speed-wise that maybe he'll be like Chris Johnson. And that was the first time I'd ever heard anybody compare Jahmyr to Chris Johnson. But, we'll see. We'll see. I would love that. That'd be amazing. So let's go ahead and look at our next number here. And that would be for Brian Branch. Brian Branch going to wear number 32 the safety out of Alabama. He's going to wear number 32 for us in a Detroit Lions uniform. He was number 14 in Alabama, but I got a feeling number 14 for Detroit was saying, you're not getting that number. So
Yeah. He shouldn't even ask. But hey, it's a similar. Hey, 32 is on defense now. So hey, times are a changing, as they say, my brother.
That's right. That's right. So, hey, next up was Jack Campbell, which, by the way, folks, if I end up missing, up some of these names, I apologize in advance. I'm literally looking at their last name and trying to remember their first name, and I'm not always great at that. But Jack Campbell's going to wear 46. That is going to be the number for him. And I believe Nate Rucker's actually trying to enter the room here. So let me let him in, and I'll let him know that we're going YouTube live just in case he needed to say anything. So I believe Nate should be joining us now. Nate, my friend, we are going YouTube live right now, just so you have a heads up. And welcome, my friend. So how's Nate doing today?
What's going on, y'all? What's going on? Been a pretty unconventional morning, but hey, we're live, ticking, can only get better. What's going on, guys?
Well, hey,
glad to see you, brother.
I am so glad to see you. I wasn't sure if we would see you tonight, but I am so glad to see you. And right now we're just telling everybody the jersey numbers for some of these new draft picks. We've already talked about Hendon Hooker, Jahmyr Gibbs, Brian. We're talking about Jack Campbell right now. Campbell is going to wear number 46 for the Lions.
46.
Bobby and Nate, your thoughts on that?
I'm just happy he's a Lion. Just go see what he could do. I've seen a lot of people talking about they wish he would have got Chris Spielman's number at 54, but let him be his own man. Stop trying to make him into comparing him or want him to be a former Lion great already. Like, just let the kid do what he's gonna do. Just simple.
I don't know nothing about the number, but I seen that picture with him standing next to Calvin Johnson. He's a big dude. He's a tall dude.
Yeah,
man,
he's 6'4", 6'5". So
yeah, man, for real. I didn't know he was that tall. Them the kind of guys not to just veer off the numbers. Them the kind of guys you won't cover. Long, rangy. You feel me? So I believe he's gonna be able to make a difference covering. And they was calling him Baby Urlacher. So I can't wait to see him. To be honest.
Yeah, like I said.
How about you, Elijah?
So for me, the only number, like my favorite number is 11. Okay. And that's because I was born on November 11th. So like when I played, I always wanted number 11. That was a special number to me. Number 7 was also special because I grew up in Atlanta during the time period when Michael Vick was there. And like every single pickup game that we ever played at recess, in school, everybody wanted to be number 7, and people would draw it on their shirts and everything. So we were pretty crazy back in the day. But anyway, for me, those are the two numbers that really mean something to me. I said to you off the show, though, I said that, I would have been curious if Barry would have allowed Jahmyr Gibbs to wear 20. But then you brought up a good point, which is if you put number 20 on Jahmyr, the already high expectations are going to go through the roof before the kid even plays anything. So I get that. But for me, I was just looking at it going, man, I would love to see him in number 20 or even number 21, because that's what he wore at Georgia Tech. But as far as Jack Campbell is concerned, I'm still doing research on that player because I don't know a ton about him.
I do. It's funny because remember, that was one of the guys, one of our prospects that we talked about. Yeah. Like I say, if people paid attention to the show, then they know that ironically, a lot of the guys, that we talked about, and then they understand our reaction to why, where he got drafted. They will understand our reaction. They will understand why we were so crazy. I also read something today that it said that the Lions were ready to shock the world, and they were going to take Jahmyr at 6.
Man, and you know what's funny is I had said something about that, and everybody called me crazy, saying there's no way they'd take him at 6. But
they that they were going to take Jahmyr Gibbs at 6. Their 2 picks were, he said they looked at Devin and they looked at Jahmyr. When Devin went at 5, it made it easier for them to trade down and generate more. But Jahmyr Gibbs was number 1 at the running back position on their board. They were taking Jahmyr over Bijan regardless.
That warms my soul. You have no idea. Anyway.
I'm so glad they didn't take him at 6, though. I like him and all that, but I don't like him at 6. But I like him.
Hey, listen. Hey, we got to trust Holmes. We got to trust the villain.
They did get a pick for the moving back and still get that guy. So that is if they're telling the truth, that's player.
So
I like that.
let's take a look at some of these comments real quick as they're coming in. And then we need to get back to the numbers so we can keep everything kind of flowing here tonight. So we got 6 people watching right now, which is pretty awesome. So, hey, thank you for watching. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Got to make sure that I sound like a real YouTuber. But anyway, we want to say hello to comedian. That's not a word. Comedian. There we go. Comedian Shay B. She says, hey, family. We say, hey, right back. Bill Lockard says, what's good, fellas? Bill Lockard also says, Elijah C. Johnson is who I really feel like Gibbs could be for real. And Nate, the reason why Bill is saying that, because I was saying, okay, number 26, isn't that a number that Chris Johnson wore? It wasn't, because Chris Johnson wore 28, but, you know.
Yeah, I was saying no.
Close. But anyway, Tim Darga says, what's good, fellas? And Lavelle Stokes says, that's a cold sweater, Rob. So there you go. That's right.
Oh, good looking brothers.
All right, so let's get back to some of these numbers here. So one number that's going to change, because Jack Campbell is 46, Craig Reynolds is not going to be 46 anymore. He's going to be 13. So keep that in mind. Now, Craig Reynolds, there could be the question of, will he make the team? I think he will.
I doubt it.
We'll see. You don't think so?
Man.
Why not, Nate?
You better hope we have a jersey.
Well, the only way, unless they keep in 5 running backs.
Right.
Because by them picking up Mo Abraham.
Yep.
He's not better than Mo. Mo is more compact. He has more vision at that position. Like he has better hands. He can catch. It's crazy that he went undrafted. And it's still crazy for him to go undrafted and for you to get him behind an already stacked offensive line, for him to sit there behind David Montgomery, behind Jahmyr. You know, like I say, unless they're going to keep 5 running backs, 4, because if I'm not mistaken, you still have Justin Jackson as your kick returner / whatever you want to call him.
We do.
So that's 4. That's 4 right there. So I don't that 53-man roster. I don't know if they take 5 running backs.
So we're going to talk more about Mo coming up a little later on, and this is not momentum because this Mo was not at all. So anyway, I had to throw that in there for Nate. So hey, let's talk about some of these other numbers. Number 75 is going to be Sorsdale. And I don't know much about the player, but 75, obviously a pretty good number. So
I seen a lot of stuff on him.
From William and Mary, right?
Yeah, from William and Mary. He actually has the ability to play every spot on the line, which is good.
Whoa, I did not know that. That's
They say he's that versatile. So he can go up and down the line, but they do see him at guard with his size, quick feet, ability to get to that second level. So I could see him doing a lot of things that Big Daddy Shit V can't do, which is move laterally, pull, and things of that nature. So that's going to be good as well. It's going to help that line, especially with Evan Brown, which is one of the things that Evan Brown did that Big V couldn't do, was move. You didn't see Vitae, whatever the fuck his goddamn name is. Is it Vitae? No, Vitae.
Watch your language, Nate.
Huh?
Watch your language, brother.
Oh, my bad. My bad. Well, whatever Big V, you know, when he went out, what you seen with Evan Brown was the flexibility in the line. You seen them able to run traps. They ran a lot of counters, a lot of belly, a lot of dive plays, and they also did a lot of pulling. So with Sorsdale, you can do that. With V, you can't. We know he's fast as a hover around with a low battery. He ain't going nowhere.
He's a Roomba. Anyway. All right. So hey,
my bad, Bobby.
Bobby was not prepared for that. He was not prepared for a hover around with low battery. Anyway.
Yeah, but then you said Roomba. He a Roomba.
Roomba.
Y'all both stupid.
Okay. So next up is Antoine Green. He's going to be wearing number 80. We're going to talk about him a little later on, but we just want to get through these numbers real quick. So Antoine Green, number 80. And then we have Laporta, who's going to wear number 87, which I know that just makes Nate just go, oh, God, not again. But
I like him better than Hawkins shit, though.
Okay, but like you have to at least give me the fact that when we read the profile on him, because folks don't know this because they're not in our chat, but I legitimately was like, wait a minute. So we just drafted another Iowa tight end who don't know how to block very well.
Yeah, this is
what are we doing? Like,
well, this is the one thing what I've learned, and I think that to me, okay, so Dalton Kincaid went first. If Dalton Kincaid Dalton Kincaid wasn't supposed to go that high. He wasn't. So I mean, Mayer was already gone. Like I say, it surprised everybody. Dalton wasn't supposed to go to the second round. So had Dalton been there, that's who the Lions would have took. I can tell you this, he's way more physical than Hawkins shit is. Like Laporta, I've watched him, I've seen him, I hated him when Michigan played because he was a nightmare against linebackers. I mean, he was a nightmare because of his range. He can run, he can catch, and he is physical. So, like, his ability to block is just, I think they just ain't use him way. One of the things we talked about when me and Bobby went Fant and Hawkinson first came out was Iowa was running a man blocking scheme, which meant, hey, just go forward and hit the dude in front of you. So a lot of times, you was able to hide Hawkins' shit's inability to block. All his olays and shit he did. Well, Laporta, it was more so used like a Kyle Pitts. Like they did a lot of splitting out with him. They put him into a lot of, he played a lot of H-back. They put him out at receiver. It was a lot of play action used with him. So I like his offensive versatility more than Hawkins is.
Okay. All right. And you brought up a good point there that, obviously we're judging these kids based off what we saw them do in college.
Right.
But with anybody, there's what you're asked to do versus what you can physically do.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes what you're asked to do does not show all of the traits that you actually have. So maybe them saying he wasn't that good of a blocker was actually meaning he didn't get the chance to really show.
Man, Bobby got so much stuff on TJ getting olayed and threw to the ground and pushed over. Man,
remember
against Maryland, wasn't even no good team.
Now just remember, this is a podcast, not a flea market. So hawk your shit somewhere else. Anyway, come on, Nate, come on, you gotta get it. So we got one more. We got one more number to give out. That would be Broderick Martin. He's going to wear number 98 for the Lions. So that's a pretty good number there for a D lineman. And with that, let me just recap these numbers here real quick, and we're going to move on to just general impressions of the draft. And yes, we're going to be talking undrafted free agents tonight as well. So those numbers again for you, if you're just tuning in, Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. But these are the numbers for the new Lions that were drafted over the weekend. Number 12, Hendon Hooker. Number 26, Jahmyr Gibbs. Number 32, Brian Branch. Number 46, Jack Campbell. Number 75, Sorsdale. Number 80, Antoine Green. Number 87, Laporta. And number 98, Martin. And because of number 46, Jack Campbell, you're going to get number 13, Craig Reynolds. So that is the, no, not Craig Reynolds. It is Craig Reynolds.
Since Swift is gone, were you guys shocked that David Montgomery didn't go for 32?
Well, if he does, then that means Hendon Hooker can slide into that number 5 jersey, which would look a lot better. So we'll see. But what we want to do right now is we want to talk about just general impressions of the draft. So we got a bunch of people watching once again. Thank you so much for that.
Thank y'all. Appreciate y'all. We love y'all, man.
When it comes to this past weekend, give me one pick that you loved, one pick that surprised you. We'll start with Nate.
The pick that I loved.
You can say it. It's Jahmyr Gibbs. I'm just kidding.
Brian Branch.
All right. And why is that?
Well, for one, I didn't think we would take him. So he's my surprise and pick that I love because of what we just got with Chauncey Gardner Jr., the instant growth of Kirby Joseph and then Tracy Walker. I get it. We don't know about Tracy Walker and his ACL. So I was surprised that they took Brian Branch, but it's also the pick that I love because he's a decleater. I mean, dog, if you catch that ball in front of him, you paying for it. And he can take the ball away from you. And he can cover tight ends. He's a perfect fit for that 4-2-5. He is. I was truly surprised that he was even there. I was even more surprised that they took him. But I love the fact that they did. Like that youth on that back end, listen, that's going to be like a desert storm back there. If you trying to throw anything over there, dog, listen, it's going to be, I'm hoping for a lot of interceptions and a lot of scared wide receivers.
And Nate, you know, there's a golden opportunity here. So I'll say it now in case it ends up happening. Probably won't, but I'm just cheesy. So anyway, he decleats people, right? So he's going to be like them olden time warriors where he collects the cleats of the people he defeats. So he's going to be like Foot Locker. We'll start calling him Foot Locker, Brian Branch. What do you think, Nate?
What is wrong with you, man?
You was doing good. You put too much thought into that one.
Foot Locker. That's right.
No.
You didn't even hear me this morning. You didn't even hear me this morning on my radio show. I'll throw this in just because, again, I'm corny. But anyway.
I watched it this morning.
So this morning I was talking about how like minor league baseball teams, they always have like, you know, silly jerseys, but they end up looking pretty cool. So I said, what if the Texas Rangers, and follow me here, folks, what if the Texas Rangers, just one good time for one game, wore a jersey with Chuck Norris as their mascot? Because then they would have the Walker Texas Rangers. And I think that would be beautiful. What do you think, Bobby?
I like Walker. That was one of my favorite shows.
That was better. That was way better than Foot Locker. I just want to say I heard that this morning. But right now,
Walker drove a Chevy too. You feel me? Yeah, I like Walker.
But you've got your standards kind of high because the Roomba right now. So you got to find something that tops the Roomba. So
nothing is gonna top the Roomba tonight. I can almost guarantee you. But you know what? Keep watching. We'll do something. So Bobby, your player that you know you love that we picked and player that surprised you. It can be the same person as Nate just showed.
Okay. I'm gonna start with the players that surprised me because if you know, Elijah, you talking about the chat, our group chat. We always throw stuff in there and stuff. Remember, I guess it was Saturday afternoon. I put that give in there. Michael Irvin eating because our guy Brad Holmes, he liked them Alabama, and we had like back to back, Alabama, Iowa guys. Alabama, I said, what the hell is going on? That was my surprise. Like, nothing against the kids. I bet they're pretty good. And another thing I want to throw in there, man, Lions fans, I don't know what's wrong with us sometimes. We get so stuck in the negative and stuff.
It's PT.
Yeah, because like just because Mel Kiper and none of them didn't pick our guys, we ain't had no bad. They never give us good drafts. They never do. They wait. They never do. So I don't know why you guys are out there expecting that. And number two part I wanted to say, man, did you see how Brad Holmes and everybody in the room that they okay with the people they pick? And what's wrong with you damn fans? There's something missing where the fans so mad, these dudes so happy. They need the fans. You need do better, fans. Do better, Lions fans. And go ahead, Nate.
I said they just want the sexy pick. Go ahead, Bobby. My bad.
Yeah, but the thing that I'm happy for is Jahmyr Gibbs. To be honest with you, I most years I would have thought that was a bad pick, but if you watch the On the Hunt podcast show, Elijah then cracked our skull and poured the information in about this damn dude. So I wasn't mad, and the main reason I wasn't mad, and I'm gonna thank Elijah because I knew what we was getting.
Yeah,
it wasn't like it ain't like who is this or nothing like this. We was already ready for that, So that was in most years I'd be mad as hell about that, But this year I'm informed, and that's because of my brother Elijah. And I'm gonna take it to him because I'm pretty sure he's gonna show you that he's the draft Nostradamus around here.
Man, you guys give me too much credit, but I'm all the way here for it. So anyway, so I'm excited, and I think the city of Detroit should be excited because we got a hooker that works on Sundays. Anyway,
there you go.
Come on.
Hey, guess what? Hey, this hooker comes prepaid.
That's right. That's right. Oh my God. Hey,
man.
That is gonna be
needed a name. We needed a name.
He's got a hooker that works on Sundays. Look out. Anyway. So in all seriousness, player that surprised me, I'm gonna start with that first. I'm gonna say Hendon Hooker because for a little bit there, I'm like, we're getting later and later and later in this draft. I'm like, we might not end up picking this guy. And I really want him. I wanted Jahmyr Gibbs and I wanted Hendon Hooker. And so we end up getting Hendon in a great spot for us. I mean, you're not having a ton of money. And I think this is going to be a great situation for Hendon Hooker, but he's my surprise pick a little bit. Obviously, you guys know I've been talking about him forever, which side story briefly, Nate asked me to find the clip. He said, find the clip where you talk about Jahmyr Gibbs. And I'll be honest with you, we say so much stuff on this show, I don't always remember everything I say, all right? So I went back, we looked. It was episode 9 of the On the Hunt podcast that I talked about Jahmyr Gibbs. The player that I spoke about directly after talking about Jahmyr Gibbs was Hendon Hooker. And it was the week of the Alabama-Tennessee game where he would go off and everybody would start to be talking Heisman. So I was actually not only before all the hype, but it was also before that Alabama-Tennessee game, which is pretty cool. Nate, go ahead.
Go ahead. Put some respect on your name. You better let them know. Put some respect on your name. We don't tell them you don't have to wait for Mel Kiper and Daniel Jeremiah and Bucky Brooks and for all these guys to give you a player to look at. Tell them we do this. Hey, y'all might listen. We don't get paid by NFL teams and networks, but this ain't no fair weather. We just don't wait for other people to tell us to look at something. We do this. We do our own homework, our own planning sessions before it comes out, and then you guys watch ESPN. And ironically, I keep telling you, somebody be watching our shit. Because it never ceases to amaze me.
But see, the thing is though, like we did the first round together. You know what I mean? But I'm watching the draft. I said like, okay, I'm looking at the picks and stuff, And then I'm looking. No, I was at work from some of the parts, and I'm looking at the thing, and all I see is Lions fans just criticizing and criticizing and criticizing. So I'm like, man, what is going on? Lions fan. That was my take from the draft. Nate, you know how serious I am. I be hard on them. I be so hard on them. What they call
You
me a
know I
fake
am.
ass
I
fan.
don't care.
Yeah, they used to call us some fake ass fans. We be so hard of them. If I'm optimistic about these dudes, y'all gotta be cool. Y'all gotta let these boys hit the field before y'all say that, cause they man, Brad Holmes wearing Dan Campbell on his shirt, so you know they believe in each other, man. I
They
don't
fuck
know.
with you. I mean, they mess with each other for real.
Yeah, I don't know what's the disconnect between the
So
Lions fans in this front office, but they got to, as fans, we got to do better.
Yeah,
I just got to
this
say
ain't
that.
Matt Patricia and Bob Quinn. Like we've been telling these fans since last year when they were talking about fire Dan Campbell, and we kept telling these fans, listen, y'all gotta chill out. Like let these guys work. I told them, hey, let Brad cook. That's all you got to do. Just let him cook, man. Like everybody was so surprised. They really would have been mad when like I just said he was taking them at 6. They really would have been mad.
Right.
Oh well, Bijan is there. But guess what? At the end of the day, the grades come out and the Lions got another A for their draft.
And they
Regardless,
know they got the guys they wanted, and then they got an extra pick, and still got the guy they wanted. That's
look,
hustling.
and then all of them felt stupid when they seen Jahmyr Gibbs go off at 12. And then they go and they talk to all these GMs in these war rooms at the end of the night, and they were all talking about Jahmyr Gibbs being gone. Yeah. And how many of these guys hoped Jahmyr Gibbs would have been there? New England traded out. Jahmyr Gibbs wasn't even making it past 14. Uh-huh. Like, dog, and y'all so busy and y'all want to down. I seen so much crap, man. From Brad Holmes being the idiot to he don't know what he doing. Like, listen, man. Listen. Y'all have to. I'm gonna pull a Aaron Rodgers. I'm sorry. I gotta pull it. RELAX. Relax.
So I would actually take this in a different direction. And you know me, I'm always the guy who's looking for the positive outlook here. Here's what I'm going to say. Here's what I'm going to say, okay? Go ahead and talk your shit, all right? If you are somebody who is pissed off about what they did, go ahead. Go ahead and talk to them. Because the thing is, Jahmyr Gibbs is an alpha, all right? He ain't a beta. He is an alpha, all right? He's going to take whatever shit you say about him, and he's going to use that. So go ahead and pour gasoline on that fire. But when he turns around and becomes the best damn running back for the next 5 years, I don't want to see you suddenly getting a number 26 jersey and acting like you've been a fan of him the entire time. That goes for all the other players that we picked too, and Brad Holmes. You know, if you're gonna throw your shit at him, okay, I guess go ahead, but don't later on be like, well, I've been a supporter the entire time. Now, I will also say this: we're not a show that says you have to be positive all the freaking time. You can ask questions.
No, be real. We want you to be you.
You can ask questions and you can wonder, what are they doing? Because if you watch the live stream, that's exactly what we did. Whenever they traded out of 6, I said it. I'm pretty sure Bobby said it. I think Nate and Reggie wasn't with us at the time, but I think Nate said it too. Like, what are we doing? It's okay.
I was like, dog, when are we gonna pick? Like,
but see, I think people get so wrapped up in these mock drafts, and they get wrapped up in what Mel Kiper says. And here's the other thing that y'all need to think about. All right, if you're a Lions fan and you're really all in on, well, everybody's talking bad about Jahmyr, so that means I need to talk bad about Jahmyr. Here's the thing I'll tell you, okay? Do you like being embarrassed? Hear me out. Do you like being embarrassed? You tell me in the comments, because I already know the answer. Nobody actually intentionally goes out there and says, I hope I get embarrassed today at my job. So think about it like this for a second. These fellas know where I'm going with this. Mel Kiper, for months, sold you a certain story. All these other radio DJs in Detroit sold you a certain story. It's
Mike Valenti, dumbass.
It's going to be Jalen Carter. It's going to be a defensive lineman. It's going to be this, that, or the other thing. And whenever they came up empty and it wasn't the guy they thought we would select, well, of course they're going to talk bad about him, because now they got to get your respect back. Because they got embarrassed at what they do for a living, okay? What they do for a living, especially Mel Kiper and Colin Coward and some of these other guys. They do this shit for a living, and they were wrong. They got embarrassed. So what do you really think they're going to turn around and talk good about them? Probably not. Probably not. So that's just something to keep in mind.
The end of the year grades, not the grades, the redos be the most hilarious. When you go back, I want you guys to look at our draft picks last year and where they were all taken. And then you search 2022 NFL draft redo and look where our players land that Brad Holmes picks. And then when y'all do that, all of y'all who talk that shit, just go ahead and just shut up. That's all you got to do. That's all you got to do.
So let's go back to the comments here. Bill Lockhart actually, and I did see the video that Bill's talking about, I do believe. Bill said that Valenti actually gave Brad Holmes praise for being decisive, and he did. You know, I actually watch Valenti, and I hope I'm pronouncing.
He ain't like that first one. He ain't like that Jahmyr Gibbs pick.
I know. But see, the one thing that I do like about him, and maybe this is just because of the profession I'm in, but I like the way that Valenti tells a story on his broadcast, and I love the way he incorporates Rico on the show. I watch them every day, legitimately. I come home and I watch them every day because I want to see what folks in Detroit are talking about, because I don't live there. So that's always something that I like to do. So I'm not hating on him. I'm just saying in general, like you look at somebody like a Mel Kiper, someone like a Colin Coward, they're probably a little embarrassed right now that they didn't get it right. But they're also the same folks who, whenever Detroit would be talked about, they don't know what to say about our team, because they know there's a hype around it, but they don't bother to actually study what Brad Holmes does either. So anyway, we want to get into some folks who were not drafted though right now, because this is kind of interesting. So we got some folks on this team, and actually before we do that, I want to toss it over to Bobby here. I'm going to have Bobby share his screen because he's got some stuff to say, and I want to make sure he gets his opportunity to do so. So Bobby, if you want to go ahead and share your screen, my friend. Bobby's going to talk to you about some of the people we picked, and then we are going to open up this lid. I got some things to say about some of these undrafted free agents, and I
love them. It's about 4 of them that I'm very familiar with.
And I got a feeling me and Nate are going to be on the same page with the majority of them. But Bobby, I'm just buying you some time here, my friend, to share.
Thank you, brother. Thank you. I got to press that button.
And Bobby like put a lot of work into these, because he doesn't just grab a highlight off YouTube like I do. I'll just tell him myself. Bobby actually going to open up this lid. I got some things to say about some of these undrafted free agents. And Bobby, I'll just have you. Bobby, I'll have you close out of the YouTube link at the top.
Familiar with.
And I got a feeling me and Nate are going to be on the same page with the majority of them. But Bobby, I'm just buying you some time here, my friend, to share.
Thank you, brother. Thank you. I got to press that button.
I think I got it muted now, so Bobby, you're good. But yeah, if you just want to click out of that.
I'm getting feedback from somewhere.
Highlight off YouTube like I do. It's just playing the video back from us talking. But anyway, Bobby,
I got it. I think I fixed it.
Toss it over here to his video, and Bobby, take it away, my friend.
Yeah, my brother. This is Antoine Green. When I look at a draft pick, they all physical. They all got some kind of talent. But when I look at draft picks, I like smarts and I like toughness. And, our guy, Mr. Green, Antoine Green, he's definitely got the smarts. We got Jared Goff, he's more of a game manager type quarterback. So that game manager type quarterback is a lot of thinking and angles and that kind of thing. And you want to be a quarterback friendly receiver. It's all about what angles you take and what gaps you find. So with our kid, Mr. Green, as you can see in the video, which I'm gonna stop it right here. You can see him right here coming off his break. Curling down the line. But I'm gonna play it again. And as you can see, he just boom stop, and then he found work and see them guys go, and then he created an angle where he can still catch that ball running. So he found a gap in the zone, and I can see us running quite many bootlegs off this, and I'm replaying it again. You can see him. He releases. He cuts down the line. Oops, something happened. I think I lost something, huh? Please share from this video application. I done messed something up on here, man.
No worries, my friend. But I do like your point there with him. I thought that was very interesting. Somebody who can get open and stay open. That's always a big deal.
Yeah, he found that gap.
Especially for a 7th round player. Now I know you had a couple other clips. If you want to try to share your screen again, we can try that.
Yeah. I'm trying to get off this damn screen. I don't know where the hell this ended up taking me. But,
and it is a live YouTube live, so there will be some issues from time to time. So don't worry about that. We got you all set. So
yeah, but I'm gonna try to fix it and just come back to me, brother.
Okay, all right. So let's get into
for some reason my window.
Let's get into some of the folks that we had for undrafted free agents, and then we'll bring it back to Bobby, and hopefully the computer will be, be a little bit nicer to our guy here a little later on. So let's go ahead, and I'm going to share my screen, and hopefully the same issue does not occur. We'll see. If it does, hey, obviously somebody don't want this information getting out there. We'll start a conspiracy theory. Why not? But let's go ahead and talk about some of the players. And fellas, you let me know if you are seeing what I'm showing on my screen here.
Yeah, you good.
Okay. All right. Perfect. So one of the guys that I was interested in is quarterback Adrian Martinez. Now, I wasn't really looking at him to be drafted, but when I saw that he was one of the guys we picked up as an undrafted free agent, I said, now that's interesting. And so I'm going to go ahead and play the clip here while I talk to you. But here's what I like about Adrian Martinez. So he is an athlete, which obviously you're kind of going, duh, he's an athlete. He plays sports. But I like how athletic he is as a quarterback. And what is intriguing to me is the fact that Adrian Martinez, to me, signals a change of mindset for the Detroit Lions. Because if you think about it, if this kid ends up making the team, you will have a quarterback room where you have one pocket passer and 2 mobile quarterbacks. And that's interesting to me because normally you have your starting quarterback and you try to find guys who are like your starting quarterback so you can still run your offense if something happens to your starter. But for us, we're going to have a situation where the 2 guys backing up Jared Goff are nothing like him, and they offer a completely different skill set than he does. Now, Martinez, in my opinion, he's not that great of a thrower of the football, but he is a very interesting mobile quarterback. He does have the ability to get away from defenders, and there's actually going to be a play coming up here that is a 3rd and 16 play. I want you to pay attention to the screen here, because it's coming up. I believe it's this next clip, if I'm not mistaken. But it's a 3rd and 16. So it's not this next clip, but it is coming. It's a 3rd and 16 play. And what he does on that 3rd and 16 play, to me, is super impressive. So I think it might be coming up after this clip. Yeah, here we go. This is 3rd and 16 against Oklahoma. He's just going to take off. He's going to go get those 16 yards and say, you know what? I haven't had enough yet. I want to go get some more yardage after that. Now, I was telling Bobby off the show, I was saying that I could see a situation where, because Hendon Hooker will probably not be able to play this year, which that's a big if, because I have heard reports that he could be actually ready to go for week 1 because he's been so far ahead of schedule, and the injury that he had didn't happen like in the national championship game like it did to Jameson. So he might actually be ready to go prior to the start of the season. But in the event that he's not, and Adrian Martinez makes the team and beats out Nate Sudfeld, you could have a situation where Ben Johnson works in a special goal line package to show off what Martinez can do. And can you imagine Martinez running read option with Jahmyr Gibbs? Nate, if you're with me, my friend, what do you think about Adrian Martinez?
Well, I've always been familiar with Martinez because before he got to Kansas State, he was a quarterback in Nebraska for the last 3.5 years. So he's actually a complete dual threat quarterback, and his arm is better than what's advertised. It would just depend on who the hell was around him. But because of his skill set, they did a lot of RPO and a lot of spread action. But Adrian Martinez, yes, he can throw the ball. I don't want people to get it misconstrued. He can throw the ball. And then that's the one thing that he does outside of his legs. He breaks a lot of tackles, and he's very good in the play action and the bootleg. If you're not sure, if you question it, pull up the game film with Nebraska versus Michigan, not last year, but the year before last. And Adrian actually was the fastest guy on Kansas State's offense. He was faster than his running back, Deuce Vaughn, who was drafted by the Cowboys, and his wide receivers. That was your fastest guy on offense. So I can definitely see a package of that, but I also, because he's such a good athlete, we do a lot of crazy things on special teams.
Oh, what did I tell you in the meeting, Elijah?
You did.
What did I say in the meeting?
You have to, because remember, you lost CJ Moore. We have one of the best special team coaches in the league. So with Adrian Martinez having that type of skill set, you can see a lot of fakes. And he's also, the crazy part, guess what? He was also a part-time holder for Nebraska. So not only when you're talking about fake field goals and all this type of things, you can run a fake field goal with him because he can run or throw the ball. But you can also direct snap it to him. And because of his speed and power, a la that one play where CJ Moore, I think he ran 39 yards, something like that. But you do that with Adrian Martinez. So he is a luxury. I was very surprised that they went that way at quarterback. And like you said, that shows a true changing in the mindset for what that front office has.
Now, Nate, one last note on Adrian Martinez, and I do want to ask Bobby what he thinks as well. We did see Tim Darger was saying that our audio was off. So if you're talking about audio on the highlight, we're doing that on purpose because we'll get hit with copyright infringement if we play Fox's audio. But if you're talking about us talking, then you just saw a clip with nobody speaking, and that would kind of suck. So let us know in the comments what you meant by that.
Let me see, because I've actually got it planned. So I'm finna mute here, and I've got us on the TV.
Okay, yeah, you let me know. But with Adrian Martinez, I'm wondering, is it a guarantee that he beats out Nate Sudfeld for a job? Because I remember Nate Sudfeld playing pretty good for the Eagles during the preseason. So Nate, what do you think? Do you think it's a guarantee that one, Adrian makes the team, and two, do you think that that he is the third string quarterback bona fide?
His skill set plays a very key part in it because he has something that Sudfeld doesn't. And truthfully, do we even know what the hell Sudfeld's skill set is? Like, I mean, you can't tell me what he does. I like the position we're in with either Hooker or Adrian as the backup because I know their skill sets. Sudfeld, we don't know. Like, if Goff goes down, if Hendon isn't ready, but Adrian is, I know the type of package that we will be running through. I know what the offense will look like. And truthfully, the crazy part is because of his skill set, the competition is going to be very, very good. It's going to be very good, I can see. Because, like I say, Hendon is a big, strong arm, game manager type. He's not going to underthrow Jameson. But Adrian has the ability to extend plays the same. He's faster. His arm is strong. Like I said, you have to pull up the Nebraska highlights to really see what he does with his arm. But hell, he lit Michigan up for over 300-something yards passing. Like, he's very good at play action. He utilizes tight ends well. His RPO game is top notch.
And like I said, you do that with Jahmyr Gibbs. Even you do that with David Montgomery. I don't want to seem like I'm all about Gibbs and I forget that Montgomery is a good player. Yeah. I'm just saying Gibbs is faster than Montgomery, so that's why I bring that up. But you run that read option, that could be a beautiful thing, especially in that goal line situation. Not that we really had any issues last year on the goal line because we had a running back with 15 of his 17 touchdowns were from like 1 yard out. But anyway, I'm excited.
I can see David Montgomery with 20 touchdowns.
Yeah. So, Bobby, I want to make sure that we involve you in this conversation, my friend. Adrian Martinez, what do you think about him before we move on?
Yeah, I did. I worked out the kinks in my video. I think I had too many windows up. But he kind of reminded me, looking at his film, like a Johnny Manziel type. But be honest with you, pretty much what Nate said, we talked about in our meeting. You could have been in the meeting. It was like you in the meeting, Nate. And everything you said about DJ Moore, even down to throwing
football,
passes.
Football.
Yeah, so that's what I said. I see him as that gimmick special teams guy.
Mm-hmm.
You said it, man. What Nate said. That's cool with me, brother.
So we're gonna move on here to another player, and this guy is somebody that I was very surprised that he wasn't drafted, but also that we were able to get him. So I'm going to put him on the screen right now, and hopefully we won't have any issues with audio or any of that good stuff. I don't think we will. But this gentleman is Keontae Thompson, and I hope I'm saying that
Yeah.
But Keontae Thompson, he was a frustration anytime Virginia played Georgia Tech. Now, I don't want to turn this into a Georgia Tech podcast. That's not what I'm doing right now. But listen, when Georgia Tech plays Virginia, it's always an issue. Okay, that's the one game of the year that no matter how good Virginia is or how bad Virginia is, I'm always very nervous about that game because Virginia is just that weird team that always plays up against whoever they're playing against. So I saw this kid a lot whenever Georgia Tech and Virginia would play, which they play every year. What Virginia would do with him is what Randall Cobb used to do at Kentucky. So they would have Thompson have a quarterback package where he would play with Wildcat quarterback. They put him in the tight end position. They would put him at wide receiver. He wore number 99. So there's a lot of odd things happening here if you're not picking up.
Yeah. He had the ugliest jersey number I've ever seen.
So my whole thing with it is I'm surprised he wasn't drafted, but I'm thinking maybe that has something to do with the fact that Virginia was not a good team last year. And unfortunately, that happens to a lot of these guys, where if your team's not good, then sometimes you're not getting the looks that maybe you should. But let me go ahead and play the clip so you can see what we're talking about here. But it's number 99. That's who you're looking at. And again, they used him as like a tight end. They used him as a wide receiver, used him as a running back in some cases, as a Wildcat quarterback. I'm impressed with it, but I wonder where he fits on this team, because I know that we have obviously a new tight end we just drafted out of Iowa, and we got a pretty good receiver room. So Nate, with this guy's skill set and with him being kind of a jack of all trades, What do we use him for? And do you think he makes the team?
No, I think he's really going to be a practice squad guy. Number one, he doesn't have good speed. He's a average athlete. So he has a big body, but like when you watch him, like they say, like the previous play, they put him on at H back. He's, it's just one of those things where Virginia just really didn't have nothing going. So what they did was they took their best playmaker and just said, hey, make something happen. We're going to give you the opportunities to make something happen. It's very rare I see a wide receiver and pretty much the offense is predicated off of one guy. And this is what they did. Like you said, he's not going to outrun nobody for 70 yards and take it to the crib. No, but he does have the ability to get behind linebackers and things of that nature. So, but I can see another one where you have wide receiver screens and wide receiver passes because he has that in his, his forte, where, you can see double reverses for passes, things of that nature, a la Cordell Stewart,
Okay.
Where, he definitely does have that. So,
and you are right.
Wait a minute. I'm watching it. And it says stream unavailable, stream suspended for policy violations.
Oh boy. All right. Well, let's see here. So yeah, so we must have that's interesting. So okay, that's the first time that's happened to us. Must have been
it probably was a YouTube video.
Too many clips. So I wonder if we are it's still showing live up here, so I don't know.
No, I've got us live on the TV, and Bill just texted me as well. Right now it says stream is unavailable. I'm looking at it right now that's why I was watching, so I can see our other. You see, this is what I have on my screen.
Yeah.
Stream unavailable.
Okay. All right. Well, yeah, there must have been too many clips then. So that sucks, but I'm not recording this, so I don't know if we should keep talking or what. So
I would honestly say, because right now nobody can see it. It stopped. It basically is like we're in planning session all over again.